Hello and welcome back to Off the Script. I'm your host Olivia and this is episode 2. And no, it's not what I had originally planned. I had a completely different episode in mind. I was going to talk about the breakup as I had told you guys last time. And I had ideas drafted. Like my thoughts were outlined, even the emotional space to go there for a while. But life had other plans, I suppose. Somewhere along the way I hit a wall. It wasn't loud, it was quiet. And was a very, very slow, yet very drastic heat. And it did not come with a warning. And that wall was burnout. And the thing is, it wasn't the kind of burnout that screams. It didn't come with tears or drama or like loud breakdowns. It was very quiet, I'd say. It kind of just crept up on me. And it made everything feel very heavy. The kind where even the things you usually love start to feel like pressure. Talking to people, just being there for people. Sometimes even eating, painting, reading, just work, anything. And here's the part I want to emphasize. No one really saw it. Most people didn't even notice because I was still showing up. And I'm still going to show up nonetheless. I'm still smiling, and I was still smiling at the time as well. And I was still getting things done, right? And by getting things done, I mean the bare minimum, bare responsibilities of my days. Getting my work done for the day. And other responsibilities that I may have had. But nonetheless, I was also posting and replying to people, making sure that everybody was okay, just checking up on everybody. And I guess doing what was needed to be done. But inside I was completely drained, I must be honest. Burnout doesn't always look like collapse. Sometimes it's like high functioning exhaustion. I don't know if that makes sense. Like checking boxes while feeling numb. Right? Like it's like you don't even know, is it depression or burnout? Is it anxiety or burnout? Is it like, what am I feeling? Right? What's happening to me? It's like posting content while holding back tears. It's like laughing with friends while secretly hoping someone will ask if you're really okay. So I don't know what you would call that. I don't know what you make that. What you make of that. So I didn't post the episode. I couldn't force it. And honestly, I'm proud of myself for pausing because I needed to pause. I also want to be honest. I'm not back because I've fully recovered. I'm back because I've regained just enough energy to speak again. I wouldn't say I'm fully rested. I'm really not. I'd be lying if I said I am. But what I can say is that I'm here. I'm not 100% okay, but I'm here. I'm honest. I'm choosing to show up, and I do believe that showing up is more than enough sometimes. Not always. Don't be lazy. Don't be lazy, not always, but sometimes it is more than enough. For me, burnout didn't look like shutting my laptop or staying in bed all day. Quite the contrary, it looked like staying productive but feeling disconnected. It looked like waking up and immediately feeling tired and sleeping but not resting. Completing tasks but feeling like nothing meant anything. And there were days where I would question, what is the point of all this? Like, why am I even doing this? It's like nodding in conversations, but absurd, like completely. Not because I'm thinking about anything else, but my mind just goes blank. Like, I don't even know where I am. It's a form of depersonalization almost. I don't know. It's like posting regularly but feeling pressured by consistency. I felt this pressure last week as well, or especially like Wednesday, when I hadn't posted. Actually, it started on Sunday evening. I was trying to push myself to record the episode, and something in me kept saying, no, you have to stop, you have to pause and take care of yourself. Just stop for a minute. It's like giving like, just stop for a minute and smile. But no, I told myself, stop for a minute, Liv. Just stop for a minute. But I'm glad I did. And yeah, I think also when it comes to like posting regularly, I felt this need to open my WhatsApp and just post a bunch of stuff to make sure people were seeing that I was posting and nothing was out of the ordinary, so that nobody would ask me what's happening, but at the same time I would want somebody to ask me what's happening, but at the same time I wouldn't. I don't know if that makes sense. But another thing of what burnout of what burnout looked like to me was getting praised for being so strong, while internally I was feeling weak. I was just functioning at that point, if I'm being honest. I was just functioning. I was not fully present, but I was functioning. And I didn't even realize how deep I was in it until I couldn't bring myself to hit record. Yeah, I know. Saturdays are when I record my podcast, but I just couldn't do it. I couldn't. Not because I had nothing to say, but because I had no energy to say it. I just couldn't. So I kept telling myself, just keep going. And for a while I did. I really did. But at what cost? Right? I mean, I was living from a place of depletion, not overflow. And when you keep showing up on empty, eventually something breaks. For me, a lot broke, honestly. Still trying to make it to the mechanic, but that's besides the point. What made it more complicated was how well I was concealing it. From the outside, again, I looked fine. Still posting, engaging, just being a little bit active, but yeah. So people didn't really suspect anything until I said it. I'm just going through a little bit of burnout, nothing too serious. And I'll just smile and whatnot, just kind of BS my way through it, even though I was barely holding on. But that's the thing about being high functioning depression, high functioning anxiety, high functioning ADHD, high functioning burnout, high functioning anything. It's so frustrating because nobody sees it. You feel it, but nobody sees it. And you can't speak about it because, whoa, you're not the person. You're not the kind of person who speaks about it. It's like you learn to perform exhaustion so well that it becomes your new normal, but that's not healthy. That's not sustainable, and it's definitely not strength. Being silent about your exhaustion does not make you strong. It makes you isolated, and isolating yourself is dangerous. When I started feeling overwhelmed, I pulled back. I stopped replying as often. I stopped checking in, and I convinced myself that I needed solitude to recover. And while sometimes solitude can be healing, I confused it with isolation. I still do, if I'm being honest with you. There's a difference between taking a break and disappearing. At first, the silence feels like protection because you don't have, anybody in your face. Like space, you have space to breathe. But after a while, it turns into distance. You distance yourself from your people, from your purpose, from your truth. And for me, I noticed that the longer I stayed quiet, the harder it was to speak again. Especially now, it's a lot harder to speak. You may not even see it, but the stuttering in my speech, the way I don't pronunciate all my words, the way it just doesn't sound right. It doesn't come out the way I want it to. But nonetheless, I am speaking, because one thing I told myself at the beginning of this year was, I'm going to speak my truth, no matter what, even if I'm stuttering, even if my voice is shaking, even if I cannot pronounce some words, even if my speech is not perfect. I am going to speak my truth nonetheless. But sometimes I start thinking, like, they probably won't understand me anyways, or I don't want to sound dramatic and whatnot, but it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter, and nobody cares. But what I do know is that isolation isn't always the answer. Healing doesn't require you to vanish from people. Sometimes healing happens in the presence of safe people. Now, you have to know who your people are. I mean, people who don't need you to explain everything, right? People who will listen. It can be your therapist, your friend, family, anybody. People who will remind you that you're not crazy, you're not lazy, you're not weak, you're just tired. If you're in this space, if you're been quietly struggling and slowly pulling away, I see you. I really do. And I want to remind you that you don't have to go through this alone, Even if it feels easier to shut down, even if you think no one would understand, speak anyway. Heck, you can speak to AI. You can speak to yourself. You can journal. You can speak to God. You can speak to your friends who would understand. Just send the damn message. Make the call. Say the words. Just say it. Say, I'm not okay. Right now, just say, I am not okay. But only say it if you're not. And once you make peace with that, once you have said that out loud, it is a first step to getting back to yourself. Because you've just admitted to yourself where you're at. And being honest with yourself is the most important thing. So admitting where you are or where you're at is going to help you move forward. Now, right now, for me, I'm not aiming for perfection. I'm just moving slowly but intentionally, and definitely with grace. At least I'm trying to add sprinkles of grace in it. So here's what I'm doing to stay grounded while I'm recovering. I still have goals to achieve. So of course I'm going to be studying, because I need to reconnect with the version of me that dreamed of what I want to study, that dreamed of what I want to succeed and what success looked like in terms of my studies. When it comes to work, I have responsibilities at work, so of course I have to show up. I don't force high energy, I really don't, and I don't fake confidence. I just meet myself where I'm at and I give what I can. Sometimes my voice shakes during meetings. Sometimes I don't have much to say and I watch others excel. But I don't feel bad or anything like that. I'm just proud of myself that I'm showing up. And I'm trying with what I have. The third one is creating. I mean, here I am. I'm back on the mic, which is great because speaking helps me heal. It really, really does. Saying it out loud, actually, it's amazing. This podcast is where I return to myself. It's not about metrics, it's about meaning. And I think I've missed this. Yeah, just talking to you guys, but also being able to talk to myself at the same time. But also the other one is connecting, reaching out more, responding, but don't hold your breath on it. If you have my number or you have me on social media and you are in my DMs, and have not gotten a response from me in like 3 weeks or a month, don't hold your breath. I'm not going to respond. There's a high chance I'm not going to. Not because I don't want to, but because I just don't want to. Nothing personal. But I'm also rebuilding soft communication habits, right? Yeah. I want to say I'm learning that recovery doesn't just mean rest. It also means relationship. I don't want to heal alone anymore. And I'm not saying I want to be super dependent on people or anything like that. No. I don't want to isolate myself. I just want to be honest. So if not healing alone means healing on this podcast, that's what I will do. You know, I think these small steps help me feel human again. They remind me that healing doesn't have to be dramatic. It can be simple. Not easy, but simple. Just one small promise to yourself each day. Just one small say one small conversation, but one honest conversation with yourself. And this is a very honest conversation with myself that I'm having. Though you are listening, and though it's equally helping you, or may help you, I hope it does, at least even if it's just one person. And lastly, just one moment of clarity. This is my moment of clarity. As I'm speaking, I'm ranting out, really blabbering, but I'm also getting a lot of clarity from this that I did not see. Now, I would say if you're hiding your exhaustion, okay, let me rephrase that. If you're listening and any part of this sounds familiar, where you're hiding your exhaustion, please pause and just ask yourself these 3 questions, okay? Just 3. The first question is, let me see. When was the last time you really checked in with yourself? The second question I want you to ask yourself is, when did you start feeling this tired? And the last question I want you to ask is, who have you let in recently? Now, you don't have to explain everything. You don't need a perfect plan. You just need to be honest. You need to be honest with yourself. You can be honest with somebody else as well. Someone who is safe. Somebody who makes you feel safe. But most importantly, you need to be honest with yourself. You are allowed to say, I'm struggling. You are allowed to slow down. You are allowed to say, I need help. And you are allowed to need help. Being strong doesn't mean doing it all alone. And hiding your pain won't make it go away. Even if all you do today is send a voice note or sit quietly with your journal or whisper to God, please help me get through this. That's enough. That alone matters and that counts. Let people in, let yourself rest, and let your truth breathe. This episode is for people who show up even when they're tired. The ones who smile silently struggling. Clearly, I'm the tired one. I meant to say the ones who smile whilst silently struggling. The ones who check every box but feel like something's missing. If nobody else sees you, I see you. Because I am you. And we're not alone. So let's stop applauding ourselves for suffering in silence, because what the hell? Who even told us that was okay? Let's stop calling exhaustion discipline. It's not. Let's actually start speaking. Even if the words are shaky, like mine right now. Even if your voice cracks, like mine has been. Even if you're messing up your words. Just start speaking. Like I said, I'm back. Not because I'm fixed, but because I've made space for my truth. And I'm done performing. If you're ready, I hope you are too. I hope you're done performing. That's what I meant to say. If you're ready to stop performing, I hope you're done performing. Next time, maybe we'll talk about that breakup after all. Maybe we'll talk about the healing, but whatever it is we talk about, I'll be honest. And it will definitely be honest. But before I sign off, I want to tell you something. It's past 10 p.m. on a Saturday evening. And I've been out the whole morning, working the whole afternoon, working with viewings, and then I had church as well. So I'm exhausted. Recording this is exhausting. But if it helps one person out there, then I guess that, it's absolutely worth it. Nonetheless, until then, stay staffed. I am not going to edit this podcast because we are going to be super raw and honest, because some days are like this. Some days are just exhausting. Let's try that again. Until then, stay soft, stay grounded, and stay off the script.